Hey, we finally got some new One Punch Man. I can't wait for Tatsumaki and Saikorochi's battle to continue and see what happens. Oh, looks like instead we get to have some revisions for Child Emperor and Phoenix Man's battle. So the original fight was very much an try to overpower the other guy battle. This one is very heavily focused on kind of a mix of things. There's a good amount of action, but then there's some very interesting things with Phoenix Man. If he wasn't overpowered already, now he definitely is, as well as some extra transformations, which I loved. Like Penguin Man, that's my favorite form for Phoenix Man now. So obviously we have a lot of different art. It's basically a whole new set of chapters with this, because instead of focusing entirely on a giant brawl, we have a much more mixed and kind of nuanced battle going on, both physically and mentally with Child Emperor. The time limit is still there with the Megazord, but it's far away from being any kind of real focus for this. This is very heavily zoomed in on Child Emperor and some insecurities that he may have with the Hero Association. And of course with himself as a hero, and his place as a part of their organization, with Phoenix Man as a costumed hero. All the pride in costume heroes. They're beginning their brawl-like battle, but then suddenly you're in this like grass field, trees in the background. Child Emperor has a freaking baseball cap on, like he looks like a normal kid, and it's insane. I was not expecting this to happen, because I was expecting maybe some like art revisions here and there. I wasn't expecting like a full-on, complete revising of this whole story and like a deepening of both Phoenix Man and Child Emperor as characters. So Phoenix Man is very prideful that he is a costumed hero, and he's kind of pulling a Kylo Ren here. He's like, let's tear it all down. The heroes, the monsters, only costumed monsters matter. It's kind of, I don't know if it's enough for Phoenix Man to kind of come to this conclusion that Child Emperor is a costumed hero, because like that's like the only costume that he has, really. He has his backpack full of gadgets. He has all kinds of gadgets. So they're in this like mental space, and they go into it I think twice during these couple chapters, and it's very, very interesting. Phoenix Man is trying to recruit Child Emperor, and I found it surprising at first, because I was used to his character from the original battle, which had a little bit delving into his character, but not in terms of seeing what kind of psyche he might have or insecurities he might have, or something that may get into his psyche and like psych him out, but Phoenix Man actually seems to be getting to him, which I found very surprising. So I found that very interesting. I did really like the original battle, but I do appreciate the depth that this story is shooting for. I'm not sure which one I prefer. I probably prefer this one, just because it makes Phoenix Man and Child Emperor much more interesting characters. So while Phoenix Man is talking to Child Emperor, he's like, you can be the monster brave giant man. And it's this freaking ridiculous looking monster with Child Emperor's face just right smack dab in the middle of his body, and that just snaps him right out of it. And he's like, that's so lame, boom, and just smashes Phoenix Man right in the head. I loved that part, because he was getting to him, and he dropped the ball. What can I say? He just dropped the ball. I guess he just doesn't like the Megazord suit. So Phoenix Man begins transforming, and he goes into Hawk mode, and to essentially power up and try to push back Child Emperor's punch. And so they go into a fight, And freaking Phoenix Man in this hawk mode, like, look at that freaking abs. That guy's got abs. He must do ab day every freaking day. But as they're battling, one of the moves that I really appreciated was a full page spread of Child Emperor's Megazord doing 20,000 fold rope skip grinder. Like, only a kid could make up that stuff. And one, I guess, or Murata. I don't remember. I don't know which one made that move up. If you know, let me know in the comments if Murata or one made up the 20,000 fold rope skip grinder. So their battle continues, and Child Emperor is like, you know what? I'm putting out too much power. I'm overheating. There's a water source down there. Let's go down there. Boom! They create this giant freaking tunnel down to the depths of the water tribe. And as the water is flooding, he can try to defeat Phoenix Man there and simultaneously cool off his robot because it's overheating. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is that that kid, what's his name? Watanabe. It starts with a W. God dang, I forgot his name. But Saitama is there, and he gets swept up in the water. And he actually joins Child Emperor in this little romp against freaking Phoenix Man. And this is when we get my favorite Phoenix Man iteration, freaking Penguin Man. He's swimming out of that water like a little cute little penguin. By the way, penguins are my favorite, so definitely my favorite. Child Emperor and Saitama have this funny little back and forth, and this is very interesting because in the last time it was just, you know, Child Emperor using his ingenuity and ever increasing the power of the Megazord and his hits, ending with like a Kamehameha against Phoenix Man, and finally the little tickle robots, which it ends the same way here. But some of this stuff I really liked the addition of. Some of it I don't, you know, I prefer the last version, the first version of it. So they go back into the world of Void, and Phoenix Man is actually really getting to Child Emperor this time, and he's like, you know what, the Heroes Association, they do some bad things, dude. That like, and this is when you kind of get into Child Emperor's kind of insecurities, that like he feels unappreciated. You know, he's just a kid to them. So he's actually seeming to consider the offer of Phoenix Man, which I thought was very surprising. But also, being a kid, even though he's a genius, this might seem like a good thing to go with, because Phoenix Man is like, I appreciate you. I see you for your talents. I see your value, you know. Whereas he doesn't seem like the Hero Association has, you know, shown their appreciation for him. But Saitama, being the hero that he is very much needed in this situation, and he basically just punches a hole through this whole illusion, goes into the mind, and he's like, hey, you don't pick on children like that. What do you think you're doing? You're an evil guy, and evil doesn't gain you any glory. You know, so this was very weird. I thought, okay, now this is 100% gag mode Saitama right here. Because, you know, he can just punch anything out of existence, but now he's actually punching into illusions. This is like Looney Tunes level freaking gag. So he psychs out Penguin Man enough to break the illusion, and this is where like a really touching scene of Zombie Man basically saying, hey, you know, Child Emperor, you know, we're all grown adults, and, you know, we're sorry to have to rely on a kid to do like so much stuff that you do, so we appreciate you. And like, if he needed to hear that at any time, this was the time. And that kind of shatters everything that Phoenix Man had built up in his brain, all the kind of manipulation that he was trying to pull on him. And you see these little tears in this little kid's eyes. It's just so touching, you know? And Child Emperor's like reinvigorated. He's like, I am a hero. This is who I am inside. You know, I don't need a suit. He blows up his suit to destroy all of the zombies that Phoenix Man resurrected. Forgot to mention that. That was a much bigger part, if I remember correctly, in the original version. So right after it explodes, Child Emperor floats right over Phoenix Man. And you're thinking he's doing something, but Phoenix Man goes to hit him. And tell you what, if Phoenix Man landed that attack, Child Emperor would be in shreds. He'd be in freaking pieces. But Saitama, being the dude that he is, stops Phoenix Man with 2 freaking fingers. Child Emperor stands like the hero that he is, reinvigorated from Zombie Man's words, and of course Saitama's. And he's like, you know what? The kid inside that robot looks pretty strong. And you know what? He does. So Phoenix Man starts laughing hysterically. And this is where we get the tickle bugs from the original version. I appreciate that they kept this ending because I think that's a really ingenious way to defeat this heavily overpowered guy. Like, you know, in the original version, it's like, how the hell is he going to beat this guy? And same with this version too, especially with his mental games that he's trying to play. So Saitama afterwards say, hey, you know what? You don't think of yourself as just a kid. You are a great hero in reality, and just like really good touching stuff. When the ninjas that Flashy Flash killed come in and they try to grab Child Emperor, and Saitama's just like, nope, blam, right? Double punches them both in the face at the one time with one fist. Good stuff. Give me a break, he says. So that was pretty cool. And Underdog Man comes back to Child Emperor. Happy ending for everybody, except for this like Hydro monster. I forgot if we've seen this thing before, but of course Saitama just basically flaps it away, and that is it. So overall, I think that this is an improvement in some areas, but not in other areas. Like the original, I really liked the original in the tenseness of it all. The prominence of the time limit of the Megazord was like really added a lot of tension to it. It's not nearly as prominent here, but I really appreciate the delving into Child Emperor's character and even Phoenix Man's character more here. And I like Phoenix Man's other transformations as well. So I can't really decide which one I like more. You know, I like the diversity of this. There's a lot of action. Saitama's involved, which was okay. I wasn't missing Saitama in the original version, but yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That wraps up my thoughts. As always, thanks for watching, and take it easy.